War Eagle, everybody. Welcome back to another edition of E2C Network Live, where we get together and we talk about what's going on in the world of the Auburn family spectrum. We are always heavy on the Auburn sports here on this channel, but if it's orange and blue, it's what we do. We'll talk about anything and everything Auburn. My name is Kyle. I'm the editor and owner of the E2C Network, where the Auburn family speaks. And we appreciate you tuning in tonight for our live stream. And a call-in live stream show where we'll hopefully get some people that are eager to chat and talk about what's on their minds as relates to Auburn. So please do not be shy tonight. And that is what is on the agenda for tonight. No set topics. You pick the topics. You pick what we talk about. We've been doing a lot of live streams lately, so we've already talked about a bunch, but we can definitely rehash a bunch of all that stuff if you got some more thoughts and opinions about them as the night goes on. As you do come into the live stream, I do ask that you do a couple things for you. Make sure you smash that like button. Does help the stream out. Helps other people know that we're live. Excuse me. All kinds of messed up tonight. And it lets them know that we're live and that we're having a conversation, that they can come on in and join if they feel like they're doing so. A lot of you are already doing it. You know the drill. Put up there a War Eagle, post where you're watching from, and I would love to know who is calling in tonight. We are getting off to a little bit of a late start tonight because of some technical difficulties, so thank you guys for your patience. I'm glad to know that some of you were eager for this thing to start, so that makes me feel good that you were wondering if this thing was going to happen or not, but here we are. We made it. So anything and everything is on the table tonight. Let me go ahead and say hello to a couple of people that are already popping into the chat window. I told you guys I was a little messed up tonight. Kevin Nelson, one of our channel members, also E2C Network Booster Club members. Same for John Stokes. Thank you, John and Kevin, for being members not only of the Booster Club, but of this channel as well, helping support the content that we do here. Kevin was calling in from Daphne. We've got Stereotypical Auburn fan with Asheville, North Carolina, calling into the house. Springville, Alabama for Bazoo. And of course, my good friend Neil. We never met, but I consider him a good friend and we apparently are in earshot of each other somewhere here in Northwest Atlanta-ish area. So as you guys pop in, we'll say hello to a few others, but I appreciate you watching, whether you are live or on the replay tonight. Don't be shy. Up at the top of the chat window, there is a call-in number. All you got to do is click it. You don't even have to show your face. It can just be audio only if that's what you prefer. Would love to hear from some of you all tonight, so don't be shy as my light starts flickering in the background. I told y'all, technical difficulties tonight. It's going to get crazy. But you guys are already posting some things, so let's go ahead and see what people want to talk about tonight. Who do you guys think will upset this year? If anyone, I think, will win at Texas A&M. That's a great question, and I think that'd be one that we all could have a little bit of fun with and talk about. So you guys obviously feel free to answer that in the chat. I think to set up that question, you have to answer the question of who would be considered an upset. Based on the current trajectory of the program, where we're at, in all things in outlook, positional, recruiting, when you consider all that, I would say that Auburn beating Alabama, Georgia, probably Texas A&M, and Penn State would be considered upsets. I put Auburn and LSU on equal playing field at the moment, but I'll hold judgment until I see LSU actually get on the field and see what they can do. But you all share that as well. So if he said, I think we'll win at Texas A&M. We have a pretty good history of that. We'll see what happens. Tank getting a lot of love in the running back category. I mean, are you shocked? I mean, he is the best running back in college football, and he will prove that this year, barring circumstances beyond his control. Meaning, I'm not even going to say it. I can't even. If I say it, it'll happen. I'm not superstitious. I'm a little stitious. Sorry, it's a bad office joke right there. I'm watching from the home office in the same place I'm always watching from. It makes me feel good, Neil, knowing that you have like a dedicated space for the show on Wednesday nights. I appreciate you being here so often. Let's see. I was surprised Bo Nix made all SEC third team. Loved to see it. Do you mean that sarcastically? Do you mean that how do you mean that, stereotypical Auburn fan? Do you mean like I didn't expect him to make it at all? It makes me happy he's there because I don't like Bo. I don't know which way to take that one. It's hard to I'm shocked personally that he was on SEC list at all, considering the far-reaching opinion about Bo Nix as it stands right now. And I'm a Bo Nix fan, and I think he's going to do great and do very well. I wouldn't have put him on an all SEC. Well, actually, that's not true. So this is all SEC. I'd probably put him on an all SEC. I was thinking all American. All American, no. SEC, you really then have to think about who are the better quarterbacks in the SEC. I think most people think Corral, I think is how you say it, Corral, from Ole Miss is the best returning quarterback. After that, it kind of falls off a little bit. Everybody's pretty high on the freshman in Alabama. We'll see, though. We'll see. Where you go? I'm just going to say I'm going to make Auburn and SEC content on my second channel. Oh, nice to see you. The War Tiger podcast. That's really cool, Jack. Thanks for sharing that. Where you go from Madison, Mississippi. I thought it was going to be a Madison, Wisconsin there for just a second. A little bit crazy. I was like, Wisconsin. I don't think we've had a Wisconsin check-in before. But welcome, George. I didn't expect him to make it, and I'm pleasantly surprised. There we go. Okay, so yeah, I'm not surprised that he made an All-SEC team, albeit the third. But I would have been surprised had it been like an All-America team. Is that a fair point? I think it is. I don't know. You guys tell me. Let's see. Jack says Tank is going to shock the world and be a Heisman candidate. If he's not already a Heisman candidate, he needs to be. I'm going to go ahead and make a bold prediction that he will be in New York. Will he win it? That really depends. It really, in my opinion, I don't know if anybody else has one out there. I can't think of anybody that really is like got a shoe in for the Heisman. There's no Trevor Lawrence. There's no Tua. There's no, I don't know. There just doesn't seem like there's like a front runner right now. So I think really it's anybody's game at this point. I think Bo will be a top 4 or 5 quarterback in the SEC for sure. I mean, I think he already is just by virtue of who's already left. I don't mean that as a slight at him in any way. I just mean you've got 3 years of experience underneath your belt. You've proven that you have the athletic prowess to be successful. You've got some decision-making and trust issues with teammates and offensive line and new system and all that kind of stuff. I think if Bo's not in the top 3 by the end of the season, Auburn's not doing well because the kid's got the talent. We'll see. I wouldn't be surprised if he works his way up into like a second team All SEC by the end of the season. I expected Bryce Young to be on there. The media loves Alabama. Well, yes. I mean, and you got to remember there is a lot of Alabama alumni and loyalists because most of their fans are not alumni at ESPN and with the powers that be and all that kind of stuff. So you're going to get a lot of that. Listen, I think he's a great talent. I'm not going to take anything away. I'm not going to act like they just went out and found some Joe Schmo. He's probably going to be very successful, but how successful is the big question. And it's just like I got into a discussion with an Alabama fan at a family reunion I was recently at. He tried to make the statement that Bryce Young was going to come in and just run all over us. And I said, well, that may be true. But here's the thing is I'll take a quarterback with a Iron Bowl win under his belt over one with zero experience. And he kind of just, I could be wrong, but I'll take one that's played in it twice and won it once, especially when it was on his own home turf, and it's on his home turf again this year. Daniels, Bazalek, and Young are 3 ahead. You're forgetting Corral. I think Corral is going to be in there. Is it Coral or Corral? Matt Carroll. That's what it is. Matt Carroll. I keep forgetting how to say that. JT Daniels. That's probably a good one too. So Corral, Daniels. I'm going to reserve judgment until later on in the season. This team will shock some teams this year. I agree. I am not unhopeful that Auburn will upset in the scenarios that I laid out for you all, where I consider personally upsets would be Penn State, Texas A&M, Alabama, Georgia. I think they win any of those, that's a shock. I don't know that Texas A&M's that big of a shock, because if you look at the history, the road team usually wins in that series. Auburn actually broke that series, or that trend in the series 4 seasons ago. I was there at that game when Seth Williams caught the game. And I actually, somebody posted a highlight on social media recently. I posted that or saw that again. I just remember standing in the end zone and seeing that happen, and it was absolutely crazy what Seth Williams was going to become here in that moment. It was a very season salvaging moment for Coach Malzahn and the Tigers at that point too. Corral has worse accuracy issues than Bo. I think Kiffin is a genius, but he can't fix Corral. Too hyped up. I disagree a little bit. We've seen Kiffin do wonders, and I think that I think a change of scenery sometimes is what quarterbacks needs, which is why I think Bo is going to have a much better time this season. But 2 years under Lane Kiffin, I think Matt Carroll will be a lot more successful. And I think that's why, if you look at a lot of predictions for the SEC for this year, depending on who you subscribe to, you watch, you follow, you're seeing a lot of people pick Ole Miss above Auburn, sometimes above LSU or Texas A&M. I wouldn't go that far. I do think Auburn and Ole Miss kind of sit probably even right now, and LSU in there a little bit. I was asked to. I'm going to be a guest on a podcast in, I think, about 2 weeks. It's kind of an overall SEC podcast, and they asked us to go ahead and get our picks in for SEC finishing. And I gave them a pick of, I think it was Alabama, Texas A&M, LSU, Auburn, Ole Miss, Mississippi State, and Arkansas. And I really think that Auburn, Ole Miss, LSU thing could flip any single way. It could go any way. Imani, is Casey here? I say that because Casey is the king of hyperbole here on this channel. Says, once again, I'll say it, Auburn's going to win the national championship. I hope you're right, Imani. I really, really do. I believe the Tigers have the talent. I believe they have the drive. I believe they have the support. I don't know that all of those things are going to equate to a national championship this year, though. I could be wrong. I hope I'm wrong. I hope you're right. But I'm not. Let's see. Unbeaten. What's going on, man? I stopped following SDS years ago, but I heard one of the journalists was apparently upset that Bo is in the top 5 and wrote a very opinionative article about it. I don't really have any opinions on SDS or AL.com or all those other ones. I mean, I guess I do personally, but here I'll kind of reserve my true feelings about any and all of those. I think they all have their merit. They all have, all of them have their issues as publications and their slants and things like that. It's just me. I don't really reference SDS a lot. I would go ahead and reference AL.com. So I'm not shocked that what it struck me as is more of an opinion thing than actual analysis. And I enjoy opinion pieces. That's kind of what our podcast network is. It's more opinion based. It's more sharing our thoughts on it, as opposed to kind of analysis, breaking it down. These are the facts and this is what's going wrong. There's a lot of people out there that want to do breakdowns and all that stuff. And we'll do some of that here, but that's not what our bread and butter is. Ours is just talking about it, being with each other about it, and connecting with each other about it. All right. I'll take a little quick reprieve from all of this. I'm trying to make sure I remind you all again, at the top of the chat window right now, there is a link for you to call in. If you would like to do that, please do not be shy. Would love to hear. That's the whole point we do this Wednesday night show, is that you guys can call in and have your voice heard on the show. So please feel free to do that if you want to take advantage of it. While we're taking a short little reprieve from all that, a couple of reminders for you. Check out the links in the description for ways you can help support the content we're doing here. Those easiest ways, if you just want to keep it all here on YouTube, you can support the channel by becoming a channel supporter. That link's also in there as well if you want to do that. 99 cents is all it takes to do that, and you get some little, small little perks with that, but you get the real perks, the big stuff, over at the Booster Club at patreon.com/E2C Network. So check that stuff out there. It's also PayPal, TeePublic, plenty of good ways to help support us if you would like to do that. So check that out. Check those links out. Check the link out that I'm posting right here if you want to call in. Joe, speaking of Booster Club, Joe is here. He said, War Dame Eagle. But anyway, Joe is a member of the Booster Club too, so thank you. So we got a lot of Booster Club members here tonight. It's good to see. Even though I'm not a big Bo Nix fan, I think the offense fits him better. I'm trying to think about that one. I don't necessarily think one offense fits him better than the other. I always find it interesting when somebody says, well, so-and-so is this type of quarterback, they can't be successful in this. That's not necessarily the case. Think about Jason Campbell is like the perfect example for any discussion about the success, failure of quarterbacks. He went through so many different systems. He went through so many different coordinators and coaches and just havoc. There's not a system that fits everybody. I will say that, let me retract that a little bit. Do certain systems fit some better than others? Yes. If you're a 250-pound quarterback, you're probably not going to be good at an option read quarterback to where you do a lot of running. If you're a scrawny, short quarterback, you're probably not going to do well in more pocket passing because, one, you can't see it over. So, yes, there are situations like that where one might be better than the other. I think a multiple offense gives Bo more options, which may be what you're getting at, Imani, which I think will give him, at the state he currently is and the confidence he has in himself and his offensive line and all that kind of stuff and his offense as a whole, it's probably something that could be very useful to him. Yeah, it's been a while since we saw you, Joe, but good to see you. By the way, Joe, you can answer here if you'd like. I know we were chatting in the Booster Club. Did you ever get access to the video early? It goes live tomorrow for everybody here. But there's a video coming live here on the YouTube channel for those of you who aren't aware. Sometimes these people get early access. If you tried and had some problems with it, let me know again. I think Harsin will be in the playoff in his first 5 years, but the quarterback will either be Finley or Grenier. How do you say? Is it Grenier? Grenier? That's how I say it. His system works with pro, larger style quarterbacks. I disagree with that a little bit. I think whatever quarterback he has will fit the way he needs it to fit. That's just my take, though, on it. But I think it's fair to say that he will be in the playoffs in 5 years. I think that is perfectly reasonable expectation and a perfectly reasonable prediction to make, because I'm a big proponent of giving coaches 4, really 5 years to figure it out. And I don't like changes outside of the 4 to 5 years. You need 4 to get a whole recruiting cycle, whole class to see what your team's going to look like, and really you need to get 1 all the way through and start a new one. So that's why I say 4 to 5. So expecting in 5 years there to be some results that resemble being in the playoff is very, very reasonable. Truly legit. It is not a number, so to speak. Let me go back down here. It's the link at the very top of the chat. If you click on that, it'll bring you into a little green room, and I'll bring you in as soon as I have an opportunity to. So it's up at the top of the chat. All you gotta do is click it. Video, no video, whatever you prefer. Oh, Joe, you had no luck with that. I'm sorry. I'll keep playing with it because I don't know. I can't do that very often for you guys the way YouTube is set up. But I tried. I sent you an email with a link. Did you get that one? Let me know if you got that one. Still trying to figure out because I want to keep giving you guys special perks for being in the Booster Club. I think it's pronounced Gurnier, but I'm not sure. Is it? I want to say Grenier, but Gurnier sounds just right, just as right. I hope we go back to AT&T Stadium one day. That was the second best stadium I've ever been to. Jordan here is number 1, of course. Yeah, let's take Jordan here off the stadium or off the stadium out of the conversation. So would that be your number one? Of the ones that I've been to the Georgia Dome, the new Mercedes Benz. I've been to Kentucky's stadium. I've been to Mississippi State's. Been to Florida. Been to LSU. The best in-seat experience in the actual bowl for me was Florida. Now getting in there and the structures and terrible, absolutely terrible. It would if they had just if that had made a little bit of sense, it would have been better. Um, the Mercedes Benz, it is hard to beat the atmosphere in there. I've been there for a loss and a win. We lost to USC, but also I was there for the Washington game, which was an incredible game. It was very fun to be at. Joe, it is a call-in show. You can call in, my friend. Links at the top. Click on it, and you can call in. It is. That's why it's even in the title, call-in show. But yes, you can take advantage of that. If you guys have issues with that, please let me know. But yeah, I really think LSU is just a bad experience. It's a cool stadium, a cool atmosphere, one of the best in college football. But my gosh, I had a terrible time there. It had nothing to do with the loss that I was at, but it was just the experience with the fans. It's gross. It's all the stereotypes that you think about with LSU. They're real. It really is real. It's terrible. What about you guys? Have you had any experiences at any stadiums, but at LSU or other SEC stadiums that you want to share? Kevin, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and announce it now because it doesn't matter, because I've already let the Booster Club knows. Kevin is going to be our feature on Auburn Roots this Friday, our podcast series that we do about every 2 weeks. And we invite on someone to tell their Auburn story. Kevin, being a member of the Booster Club, everybody in the Booster Club gets the opportunity to do that or nominate somebody. And he's telling his story, and we talk a little bit about that in his story. He's been to Glendale for the national championship game. It was a cool story to hear. Can't wait for you guys to hear it. But yes, I would imagine that was rocking. AT&T was good for one thing, but I feel like it would get annoying eventually. It's huge, feels like you're at a huge mall. Well, and I think that's what they were going for with all of that, was trying to create the all-encompassing experience of being at a stadium. It's what Mercedes-Benz did. You know, Mercedes, with the model that I like that they did with that, is they made the food prices reasonable. Not cheap, but reasonable. So instead of paying $15 for a single hot dog and a drink, you're paying just under $10. I mean, that's a meal. It's not a big meal, but it's a meal that you need to get through the game. Very reasonable. So you're seeing a lot of these stadiums go for the all-encompassing experience, trying to make it better, make you want to be there, hang out, come to more events there, not just football games. So I can imagine that's probably what AT&T is all about. I almost came to AT&T. I missed out on it, though. Joe, I would love to go to Penn State. And I'll be honest with you, when I heard Penn State was announced years ago, I swore up and down I was going to be there. Well, then this year rolls around. It's my 10-year anniversary, and my wife and I will be taking a much-needed trip and a celebratory trip. So we will be out of town all week. I will be back in town for the game, but I can promise you I will be like flying in the day before the game. I can't get back on a plane and go over there. Or else, yes, I would love to go with people and go to the Penn State game. I can't believe I'm missing out. I'm so upset with myself. It's quite frankly disappointing. I'm disappointed in myself. All right. Again, keep comments coming. You can call in if you like. Basketball news today. We are going to be playing UConn in the first round of the Battle for Atlantis, which I got really excited about. So what you saw today was 2 pieces of news. They officially announced home and away for all the SEC matchups, the Atlantis game. This is really about the time that you get the full game or full season schedule announcement coming. In fact, I'm shocked it's taken this long for it to come out, which means they're still ironing out some details. I bet we get that within 2 weeks, if not sooner. And I know that's not a bold statement, but I think it's coming. The West will be, Imani is sharing, Auburn, LSU, Alabama, Texas A&M, Ole Miss, Mississippi State, Arkansas. I agree with you, except for that top three. It's all believable except the top three. Alabama will not be lower than 2. You can take that to the bank. And I hate Alabama as much as anybody, but you got to face the facts. They will be, until proven otherwise, in the top 2 of this division. Auburn could unseat them. LSU could unseat them. Texas A&M could unseat them. Just don't think it's going to happen. Stereotypical says Bama, LSU, Auburn, Ole Miss, Texas A&M, Arkansas. That's one I can get more in line with. I just realized my light keeps flickering it out back in there. Technical difficulties, you gotta love them. Oh, that's another one I've been to in Beaton Lakes. The Superdome was fun. I sat on the top row. Every time I would look up, it would make me feel queasy. So yes, that was pretty cool. I was there for the Oklahoma-Auburn bowl game. Lots of fun. I actually took a full E2C network trip, basically, and had almost 75% of our contributors there hanging out. A lot of us shared a room together. We spent way too much time together in New Orleans. But that was a cool experience. I can see why people like going to football games there. It felt big yet compact, and it found a way to take a large amount of people and make them feel very close together, which I thought was really, really cool. So I enjoyed that very much. Just bouncing back to kind of what I was saying earlier, basketball schedule coming up very soon. Don't forget the draft, NBA draft, is this Thursday, Friday, something like that. And you can definitely watch that, and we'll be doing some breakdown of that. So I'm excited to see where Okoro, where Sharif Cooper and JT Thor are going to land. It's going to be really exciting. Hey, truly legit. I know it's the second time you've asked. Again, there's no call-in number. All you have to do is go to the top of the chat. It looks just like this. You can click on that link or just copy it and put it there. That is the way that you can call in. All you got to click on it. It'll bring you up to a browser, and there you go. That's how you call in. Sounds like Reef is going to go to the Knicks. I've seen a lot of people give me different projections on where they're going to go. I'm not so much about teams as I am placements of where they're going to land. And I've literally waffled back and forth. Will JT Thor go ahead of Sharif? Like last week, I convinced myself JT Thor was going over Sharif. I don't think so. And I'm going to change my mind tomorrow and the next day before it actually happens. I think it is either Thursday night or Friday night. What do you guys think? Who goes first, Sharif Cooper or JT Thor? Quick poll of the room. Post that in there right now. Wow. Yeah, this is what happens when you get on there late. I forget, we only have so much time together. We might stay on a little bit later. I don't know. I try not to butt up too much with War Rapport because I know a lot of the Auburn fans go over there, but we'll see what happens. All right, we got people sharing. Coop going first. I sure am leaning a Sharif Cooper. The problem is I don't pay attention to the NBA enough, and I don't know where everybody's point guard needs are right now. If there is a lot of point guard needs in the NBA, then I obviously think that favors Cooper. But I just don't know. A very specific one. Sharif goes like 2 or 3 picks before, in my opinion. All right, how about this? Another quick poll of the room. Yes or no? Does an Auburn Tiger go in the top 15? Yes or no? If that, I'm going to clarify. Right now, I feel like Sharif Cooper is going to go ahead of JT Thor. But for some reason, if there is a Tiger in the top 15, I think it's JT Thor. Because people are really high on his potential. And I think they should be. Which makes me think someone might jump up and take a chance on him like they did Chuma. Now, Chuma, it's not, when I say taking a chance, I don't mean like they were taking a bad risk. I meant that they knew what they were getting. It was worth taking the time to let him get over his injury. But we'll see. It'll be close. No in the top 15. Yes on the top 15, top 20. I think, Joe, I agree with you. I think top 20 is a given. But I'm really intrigued if we're going to get a top 15. I think, so that is my official stance. Sharif Cooper, I think, goes first. But if there is a shocking top 15 pick, I think it's JT Thor. And now I'm convincing myself that it's going to be JT Thor, like legitimately now. Getting 2 guys drafted should really help with recruiting. So look, it's fun to speculate all of this stuff, but I think Blake brings it up perfectly. This is humongous regardless, because let's follow this trajectory. You go from being a program that didn't put anybody in the NBA for decades. Well, almost just over 2 decades. You put Chumo Kiki in injured, put him in. Isaac Okoro goes top 5. This year, you're putting 2 in likely at least the top 20, maybe both of them. Who knows? It's real good for recruiting. Why is everybody so high on Texas A&M? My personal opinion is Jimbo Fisher is overrated. And yes, a Tiger will go in the top 15. I agree. I think it's starting to feel like it's going to happen. I've convinced myself now that we're talking about it. Jimbo Fisher being overrated. See, I never thought too highly of Jimbo Fisher. I remember when everybody wanted Jimbo to come to Auburn. I was like, no. So to me, he can't be overrated because I never rated him that much. I think it's understandable to notice that they are able to recruit well. They're able to assemble talent there. They've got a pretty decent offensive style. It's easy to see why they can quickly rise to, and they've shown, I think it's their trajectory as a program since he's been there. They've gotten better / kind of stayed the same. They haven't really drifted off, in my opinion. I think that's where that comes from. 2 first-round picks sounds real good to recruits. We need to give Bruce a lifetime contract ASAP. I hear talk about all that, and I know some of that's just in jest, but I don't know that Bruce really wants to sign that, but I also don't think Bruce wants to go anywhere. Does that make sense? Like, I don't know that someone other than a college in the Midwest. I was really scared about Indiana, to be honest with you, when they opened up this year. Don't ask me why. I just was. Thankfully that passed. I think Bruce will continue to get more and more offers, but I think he likes what I would perceive as the autonomy that he has at Auburn. It's hard to beat that when you're the big guy on campus, especially now that Gus is gone. It's hard to beat that. I'd love for him to be an AD one day, to be honest with you. If Auburn is putting players in the NBA, that is huge. Enough said. I mean, really it is. The fact that we are consistently being associated with the NBA draft is all you need to say right there. Boom, 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 boom. Oh, yeah. So I get it. Biased against Jimbo because of what happened in 2013. I get it. I really do. But hey, you know, it is what it is at this point. He's a very average. I'd say he's above average. Something just flew off my desk here because I keep messing with things. I'd say he's above average. It's not very high, though. So that's why I don't view him as overrated. I think his programs consistently are successful. To what degree we can discuss, but I think they are successful. I know we're bouncing around a lot, but that's kind of how the things goes here for those of you that are new here. Unbeaten Lake. Jabari will probably go top 3 next year, and we could have even more players drafted next year. So you got to think about Alan Flanagan. If he kind of does as well as he did at the beginning of next year, that's probably a likelihood. So you got Jabari there. Who else would likely go next year? That's what I'm trying to think about right now. I think there's some other possibilities as well. Jabari definitely, though. Get used to one and dones, folks. It's happening. Yes, historic. Actually, no. Let me address this. Somebody posted a graphic on, I think it was Facebook, and it showed the the records of the SEC teams post or as of the expansion, meaning Texas A&M and Missouri came in. It was not a big shock where everybody kind of fell in, but the only shock is how well Texas A&M had done since they moved into the SEC. They were third, I believe, in the record. Had a very good record overall. So it's like Alabama, LSU. It was Texas A&M, Georgia, I think, and then who was it after that? Florida, and then Auburn, I think. But we were right. The last one to have a success, like a above 500. Everybody else had below 500 since then. If Coach Pearl isn't go to Texas, Indiana, UNC isn't going anywhere. He has made it at Auburn. So, yeah, I think there was a lot of opportunities this offseason, as Neil just said, for him to go, which makes me feel good about how he feels about his future at Auburn. So you should take comfort in that, would be a good way to say it. We could definitely get 3 guys drafted next year: Jabari, Flanagan, Givens, and Walker. Walker's a possibility. I don't feel as confident about Walker. Givens? Why am I blanking on Givens? Who are we talking about there? I'm not placing Givens in my head. Oh, R. Givens. That's what you got to read the whole comment. R. Givens. Walker, I think Walker's a little bit of a wild card. Kyle, read the full comment before you comment. Jeez. So if Gus goes to the playoffs and win, how do the Auburn fans feel? Oh, Joe. Why are you doing that tonight? Don't start that tonight. I'm trying to behave myself right now. There's a high likelihood that there's a day of reckoning coming in either a good way or a bad way for Auburn as a program when it comes to Gus and UFC. Either way, there's going to be half the population of Auburn that, and I say population, I mean the Auburn family, not the city, that hates the result, absolutely disgusted with the result, and absolutely, meaning if Gus is successful at UCF, there's going to be a lot of I told you so's. If he's not successful, there's going to be even more I told you so's probably. That is not something I really want to deal with. So thank you for bringing that up. It's funny though. Don't think I haven't thought that. I just don't want to deal with that. I think Auburn Twitter will literally explode if that happens. I just want Bruce to be here long enough to establish us as a powerhouse program, not just a program with great teams in a few years in a row. I would say that we are a powerhouse program right now, because think about it. Every year we've been considered, well, I mean, last year was a bit of a step, but there were some extenuating circumstances, COVID-19, Sharif Cooper situation, ton of injuries. Those aren't a program had a bigger issue and fell apart. Those are understandable situations that cause issues for any program. It was a weird year too. Every blue blood was down basically, even Auburn. People are talking about us being a blue blood, and they should. Imani, what if they win one in football and basketball? The duo, not the trifecta. They win baseball, that'd be the trifecta. Florida did it. Didn't Ohio State do it too? I feel like they did. Wouldn't be the first to do it, but it'd be cool. Joe's trying to stir things up tonight. Let it be known, Kyle did not try to stir it up, but I might entertain stuff like that. All right. I know this is going to be a little bit of a shorter show tonight, but we're not going away just yet. Please do post some more comments and questions if you got them. You can even call in for a second if you want to, but we will probably try to wrap up here on our normal scheduled time. Before you go, though, reminders, smash the like button if you can, please. Helps the stream out, helps this channel out as well. On our journey to 1,200 subscribers, starting to inch closer and closer towards that. Might have to do a contest soon to get there, but we're getting there. We're getting there. Also, check out the links for all the description. The Booster Club, that's the big thing. That's where you get all the exclusive stuff at different little levels. But if you just want to support the channel, specifically stuff here, check out the link in the description for channel support. You can become a channel supporter for 99 cents. I should probably just say $1. It's basically $1 by the time everything's said and done. But yes, those are the ways that you can help support this. We have an Auburn Roots featuring Mr. Kevin Nelson, who you can see right now in the chat window. He will be featured on that. And I'm working on a pretty cool, well, I shouldn't tease who might be the next episode because that would be misleading. But I'm working on something. Not that Kevin's not cool. Kevin said it feels strange that I'm more excited about Auburn basketball than football. Can't wait for either, though. I don't think it's strange at all. You're looking at two programs with two different trajectories right now. I don't think it's strange. I don't think it should be odd. I think you should be proud of the fact that basketball has reached such heights that you anticipate that a little bit more, while the football program is down. Now, after this year, as I would anticipate and hope, probably back to equal again, if not football taking precedence. I like this comment. This would be the comment of the night. I am super excited about gymnastics. If you have not seen Suni Lee in competition, Sunisa Lee, I guess is her full name, she is a beast. And when you combine Darian Goborn, who basically is our Simone Biles, she really is. Like, she's got that reputation in the SEC and in national collegiate gymnastics, along with Drew Watson, who they were kind of the duo. You put Sunisa Lee in there, woo! We go into the national tournament. Joe, I am also taking donations for season tickets if anybody would like to donate to that. I didn't mean a ticket giveaway. Did I say that? I meant like because I don't have tickets to give away. I meant like a souvenir giveaway or something like that. We'll see. Neil has a good point. For Gus to get his team to the playoffs, they'll have to beat ranked opponents. Currently 0 ranked teams on the schedule for Gus. But what if they move to the Big 12? Yeah, it's I don't know that Gus he could go undefeated the next 3 seasons. I still don't know that he would make the playoffs because of the disrespect that they give to the power or the group of 5 conference. And I mean that sincerely. I think they disrespect them a lot personally. Yeah, I was just being funny. I know they're not moving this year. Just being funny. Isn't that weird? UCF and the Big 12. A realignment is weird. I love it, but it is weird, man. By the way, I just put up another video yesterday talking about pods. We should have talked about that. Pods. And a lot of you have already watched it and given your take on it. If you haven't, go check it out. I want to hear your opinions about it. But yeah, pods versus divisions in the SEC once Texas and Oklahoma becomes a reality. And I am speaking like it's going to be a reality because the only one that's going to try to stop them at this moment is Texas A&M. And really right now they need to think about playing the PR game, because if they come across as the petty ones, now, if they can convince someone else like say a South Carolina to preemptively keep a Clemson from coming into the SEC at some point, they might have a little bit of weight to go then to, let's say, Mississippi and Mississippi State. Do y'all really want to be put in a conference with them? Do you really want to have to compete against more people? They might have a case then. All right. I think we've caught up on most of the comments here. Yeah. All right. Well, guys, thank y'all so much. Again, I really appreciate where is the blue emoji? Where is the blue emoji? Oh, sorry. Yeah, I'll address this. So, Joe, if you're asking about the emojis that appear with other people's names and stuff like that, that is for the channel supporters. That's one of the things they get access to. It's the little toilet papers, and the longer they stay, they get more access to more of those things and stuff like that, and little things they can plug in there if you want to. It's up to you. If that's what you're addressing, that's what that's all about. Anyway, thank y'all so much for being here. New video comes out tomorrow. So check that out on the YouTube channel. It's just a pre-recorded video, stuff like that. And some more podcasts will be coming out, especially with Auburn Roots. Hope you'll check all those out. Check out links in the description. And you know what to do. Smash that like button on the way out. Appreciate you all being here. And hanging out with me and being really cool Auburn family members. Until then, War Eagle.